Hey, it's Risa G coming in from her cluttered kitchen. And it is Tip Tuesday again. It's a couple weeks before the big Thanksgiving day, and I thought that I would give you my top tips for a stress-free Thanksgiving, or as stress-free as possible, anyway. So I'm going to give you 5 tips. The rest of my tips will be in my notes below, along with links to my videos from last year for the make ahead gravy, and I think I did my cranberry last year, and I think I filmed my my mom's stuffing, whatever. I will link all of those recipes down at the bottom for your interest if you wish to cook them. So I wanted to talk about making your life as easy as possible pre-Thanksgiving Day, and what you can do to keep your stress level down and to make it a much happier and better day for everybody, of course. Okay? So my first thing is, all right, now this is what I did a few years ago, and it was a genius idea, because what kept happening was that I kept losing the recipes that I wanted to use. I had a specific rub I liked from Bon Appetit magazine for the turkey. I couldn't find it. I liked the brine from Alton Brown's Good Eats turkey. I couldn't find it, or I had to keep going online and printing it out again and whatever. I made myself a book, and it says holidays. Okay, great use for leftover scrapbooking supplies, or kids crafting supplies, all right, or school supplies. They're not using a white binder anymore. You can use it for your holiday binder, okay? And what I did was I broke it down to all the holidays that I like to celebrate, and then I started putting in either recipes that we use year from year, year to year to year to year, or family recipes, or traditional recipes that have come down the line, or just things that I found online that I want to try for other holidays. And I put them all in this book, okay? So I'm going to show you the Thanksgiving section. Okay, it doesn't say Thanksgiving, but I always keep on saying I'm going to put Thanksgiving over here. Okay, so here's a copy of that roast turkey from 1995, okay, from Bon Appetit. I found it online. I printed it up. Really, the only thing I use from it is the rub itself. And I have made the shiitake mushroom gravy in the past. But since I found Ina Garten's Make Ahead gravy, I haven't been making this one. But it's good. It's a really good gravy. It has shiitake mushrooms in it. It's fabulous. Okay, but I mainly use it for the rub. Okay, and every year I go and I buy small amounts of the actual herbs that I need for it, because as you know, herbs go bad after a while, and I don't want to be stuck using old herbs. So every year, about a month before, I go and I buy small things of some of the herbs I need. Okay, this year it was tarragon, and I like to add sage to this, which is not in the recipe. So I go and I buy it, and then I make a couple of different things with it in it. Okay, because you don't know, sometimes you don't know whether you're going to need it just for the outside of the bird, or whether you're going to season some of the things that you put in the cavity, or whether you're going to add a little sprinkle of it in with some of the other things, like the stuffing, or your potatoes, or whatever. Because I like all of the flavors to stay in the same wheelhouse, sort of, So I make 2 things of it. And whatever's left is good for the next year, or for the next, well, not the next year. It's good for, like, a roast chicken a week later, or things like that. See, here's the recipe for Good Eats roast turkey, and I made all my little changes. Okay, I used just the brine, and I wrote that I use it the Wednesday before, all right? And then some other things. Like, let's say you want to do something a little different. You want some turkey wings. We like turkey wings now. So, I have a turkey wing recipe. I have a recipe for mashed potatoes that a friend of mine gave me years ago. And as you can see, I wrote down all the days that I made it. A couple of them I wrote down the changes I made. Okay? Anyway, you keep all the recipes in here that you know you're going to use. Parker House rolls. And my favorite, leftover turkey and stuffing pie. I make this every year. It is so, so good. But anyway, so you know, then I go to Hanukkah, whatever, New Year's, whatever. Okay? It's a great way to keep yourself organized so you don't lose your family recipes. Okay? That's number one. Okay? Number two, all right? Obviously, you need a turkey, right? You have to figure out how many people you're having. Now, of course, this is done weeks before, not 2 weeks before, like it is now. Okay? It's like a week and a half away. All right? I already had my turkey. I decided 3 weeks ago that I was just going to do what I did last year, which is make a turkey breast in the Instant Pot, brown it in the air fryer, make some air fryer wings while the breast is in the Instant Pot. Okay? And make a couple of the sides, buy some things this year because I didn't want to do an excess amount of cooking because I didn't want to tire out my arm or hurt my arm any further since I am still healing. And so figure out how many people you're going to have and buy the correct size turkey, 1 pound of meat per person, and of course figure out how you're going to cook it, pull out your recipes, and what I do most of the time, I haven't done it yet, but I take tape and I stick every recipe on the doors, every cupboard in the kitchen, and as I make it, I check it off. I put down the date that I made it, if I made any changes to it, and I check it off on my timeline. I make myself a timeline, okay? Alright, I make a timeline. Alright. Okay, I make a timeline. Now this one is excessively basic. Usually it's way more complicated. I put down the hour, the day, and all that. I'm going to do certain things. Right, I haven't gotten to that point yet. It's just a very basic one, alright? I'm starting with Sunday before. What I want to do, I got to find the recipes. Well, I found the recipes. They're in the book. Alright, I'm very organized. Clean up any kind of cookware, servingware, you know, your traditional serving pieces, whatever. Make sure everything is clean and ready to go. Finish shopping. Finish making your menu and shop. If you've been waiting for the big deals on stuffing mix, or you've been waiting to get your free turkey because the store said that you have to shop $400 worth by a certain date to get a free turkey, go and get your free turkey, okay? Whatever it is, all right? If you are going to get your turkey that late, then put it immediately in the refrigerator when you get home to start thawing it, okay? Now, and then break it down. Make a couple of your side dishes each day. Monday, make your pies. Tuesday, make your a couple of the other sides, whatever. Wednesday, make your gravy, make your rolls, all right? Make sure you're complete, you have everything written down, and then on the day of, you know, what time you're going to wake up, and remove the turkey from the brine, rinse off the salt, dry it well, what time you're going to put it in the Instant Pot, whatever. Write it all down. Be very, very organized, okay? So, first thing is, of course, finish your menu, buy your turkey, or figure out how you're getting your turkey. Obviously, if you're getting a local turkey that's fresh, then you'll be picking it up that day. Then send your husband or somebody to go pick it up while you do last minute things at home, especially if you're having a lot of people over, okay? Number two is, if you have a frozen turkey, take it out of the freezer 3 to 5 days before and put it in the refrigerator and let it thaw safely. Do not refrigerate. Do not leave it on the counter each day, or in the sink for 6 or 8 hours a day, and then put it in the refrigerator. You don't want it to make people ill, okay? So take it out the appropriate amount of days before. For a smaller bird, 3 days is good. For a larger bird, 5 to 6 days before. Keep it in the refrigerator, in the warmest spot in your refrigerator, not in the coolest spot. You want it to thaw, okay? And you want to make sure it is totally thawed by Thursday morning. If for some ungodly reason it isn't, place it in a sink filled with cool water, not hot water. Cool water, and it'll finish thawing. All right, and then get it in the oven. If it's a large bird, get it in the oven as early as possible, okay? Now, after you've got it thawed, the Wednesday before, if you're going to brine or salt brine, do that overnight, Wednesday to Thursday. And then Thursday morning, get it out of the refrigerator as soon as possible and dry it off. If you're doing a wet brine, dry it off real well, okay? And let it sit out to room temperature. Then you can brush it with butter or sprinkle it with herbs or stuff it or whatever you're going to do and get it in the oven. Obviously, if it's a big bird, get it in earlier. If it's a smaller bird and you're eating about 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I'd get it in about 11 and figure it's going to cook somewhere between 2 and 3 hours if it's a smaller bird. Obviously, if anybody who's a experienced cook knows it's about 20 minutes per pound. So that means like 2.5 hours, 2 3/4 hours for a 9-pounder, and then it goes up from there, obviously. Okay, and then so the day before, if you're not brining it, okay, just remove it from the plastic and take a paper towel and dry it off really, really well and stick it in that warmer part of your refrigerator uncovered so that the skin gets very dry. Because if it's dry, then it'll be nice and crisp once it's cooked and it'll be delicious. You don't want it all soggy and wet and gross, okay? If you're well prepared, obviously if you made your timeline, if you've been making things every day, if you've done early prep work, then it'll be a stress-free day, which is what you want, okay? But of course, also make sure that all relatives, all friends know, no discussion of politics or anything that's going to piss people off and have arguments at the table, okay? Also, if you're going to have kids, you got to let them know days before that if you intend to discuss politics, this is not the place, okay? Same thing with religion or bringing up old things from the family that just piss people off, okay? There's going to be none of that. You want a stress-free, happy day. Anyway, okay? Also, if you're going to have kids, make a kids' table. If you don't have room for a kids' table, then put down a large blanket on the floor in the living room, turn on Blue's Clues or a loved show by all of them. No discussion and argument about what show to put on. You put on one show that everybody's going to like, and you let them enjoy their show or a movie, Frozen or whatever. All right, if they're a little bit older, maybe Star Wars or something. Something that'll keep them interested and keep them happy, okay? And keep them in one place. All right, if you don't have room for that and you only have one big table, obviously you got to keep the kids, either keep all the kids together in one section of the table or keep them with the parents, okay? And do not seat people together who don't like each other. Don't sit Aunt Norma next to cousin Trina if you know that there's a family history of dislike, all right? You don't want people angry at each other. You want people to enjoy your meal and have a good day, okay? Maybe have a really good reunion and whatever, okay? That's the whole point, right? Thanksgiving, we're supposed to be thankful for the people in our lives and not be all pissy and nasty at everybody, okay? Because then all they're going to do is talk about you at the next family thing, all right? So, obviously, if you're prepped, you won't be stressed out. If you're not stressed out, then all this stuff won't happen, okay? Also, Make sure everybody knows to bring containers for leftovers. You're not handing out every container you have. Okay? Just make sure they know. Bring a container. Okay? And also, if Aunt Norma says, hey, can I do the dishes? Don't say no. Let her do the dishes. All right? Give the kids something to do. Either clear the table or help an older parent or older family member set up for dessert or whatever, okay? Give them something to do. That way they're busy and they're not bothering you, okay? And let people help you clean up. You've done enough work for one day, okay? Let them clean up. Just don't let them put it away. One year, my brother-in-law put away my knives for me. And for the next several months afterwards, I was looking for this one specific knife forever and ever. I even asked him, do you remember where you put my green knife? And he didn't, all right? And I lost a good knife because I couldn't remember where it went to, okay? Don't let people put stuff away. You put it away, all right? Don't let them take. There are some people who like to wash dishes and immediately dry them off and put them away, okay? Kim does that, I think, every time she comes over for a holiday. All right? I don't like when people put things away. They don't know where they're putting it. You have specific spots you like things, okay? So don't let them put stuff away. They can do the dishes. They can help you clear the table. They can help you serve. Don't let them put your stuff away, okay? So the rest of my tips will be in my notes below. And of course, everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving, okay? And don't let it stress you out. Okay? Be prepared and you won't be stressed out. Okay? If you like this video, please click like. Of course, subscribe. Press the little bell. And, of course, come back to Reese's Cluttered Kitchen for more fun and recipes. Bye.